Picture yourself browsing online for an $80 pair of headphones. You are in a calm, analytical state. You check the specifications, read a few reviews, and ask a logical question. Is this worth the price, or should I check another store? Then, suddenly, a single line of bright red text flashes on the screen. Only 2 left in stock. Your pulse jumps. A sudden spike of desire hits you. You find yourself physically reacting to a few words on a screen, even though the plastic and wires sitting in a warehouse haven't changed at all. The headphones didn't suddenly get louder, the ear pads didn't get softer, and battery life didn't suddenly extend. What you are experiencing is the scarcity effect. It is a psychological glitch where limited availability makes an item feel significantly more desirable. This reaction completely bypasses your normal, careful evaluation process. You immediately stop weighing the pros and cons of the actual hardware. The objective worth of the item stays exactly the same. The limitation simply manufactures a sudden panic that pushes logic aside. This diagram illustrates what happens in your brain. A straight line of rational questioning, asking if the price is fair, is derailed. Your mind diverts into a looping panic. You black out comparison shopping, becoming entirely fixated on protecting access. Suddenly, every other anonymous person browsing the internet feels like a direct threat, an invisible competitor. Shopping shifts from a solitary evaluation of value into a frantic, hostile race against strangers. This chart maps the results of a major meta-analysis combining 131 different studies on consumer behavior. The data shows a clear, overwhelming aggregate trend. Introducing a scarcity cue reliably and universally drives up a shopper's intention to buy. That specific moment, when you stop judging the product and start fighting for it, is exactly when the marketer takes control of your decision. Retailers trigger this panic using a few distinct levers. The first is demand-based scarcity. When a site tells you 18 people are viewing this right now, it weaponizes our natural reliance on social proof. We assume that if stock is low, everyone else must be buying it. We convince ourselves that low inventory proves the product is high quality, even if the seller only had 3 units to begin with. Then there is supply-based scarcity, like a limited edition sneaker or an exclusive release. This taps directly into our craving for status. You are paying for the symbolic value of owning something rare. The actual functional value, how well the shoe protects your feet, has not improved in the slightest. Whether it's the pressure to conform with a crowd or the desire to stand above it, both tactics exploit our social vulnerabilities to force an accelerated purchase. The third lever relies purely on the clock. A banner screaming, "Sale ends in 15 minutes," violently removes your psychological safety net. You lose the freedom to wait and reflect. This triggers a very specific emotion, anticipated regret. You start imagining how foolish you will feel tomorrow if the price goes up or the item disappears today. The purchase becomes a toll paid to alleviate the uncomfortable emotion of future regret. Marketers frequently engineer this artificially. You watch a countdown timer tick down to 0, only to see it immediately restart at 15 minutes. Websites deploy fake stock counters that always say only 1 left, or they run perpetual emergency sales that conveniently never actually end. These practices are so deceptive that the Federal Trade Commission officially classifies them as dark patterns designed to exploit consumers. Using a deadline that does not actually exist moves the campaign into the territory of outright psychological manipulation. Even when scarcity is real, pushing customers into a hyper-competitive frenzy has consequences. It routinely breeds aggression, panic buying, and chaotic hoarding. But when the scarcity is fake, and a customer realizes they were rushed into a purchase by a lying algorithm, the backlash is severe. That manufactured excitement quickly rots into intense brand resentment. A betrayed shopper is highly motivated to abandon the company and take their money straight to a competitor. Tricking a user might artificially spike revenue for a single afternoon, but it destroys the long-term trust required to keep a business alive. So how do you protect your wallet the next time a website starts shouting at you? You will need a practical defense mechanism. Try a technique called the scarcity eraser.
hold your hand up and literally cover the countdown timer on your screen. Block out the red text warning you about low stock. Look only at the item and its price. Then ask yourself one grounding question. Would I still want to buy this if the warehouse was completely full? An item's objective physical quality has absolutely nothing to do with how many units happen to be left on a shelf. The product itself never actually became better. The marketing simply engineered a scenario where losing it felt more painful.